so many steps today.
I know. It's so bad, isn't it?
I got ham coming out of me.
Yes.
And I'm already hammy.
Oh, you know what I got? I got the Cadbury eggs, the little ones, the candy ones, not the gross ones with the whatever gelatinous goo inside. The little Cadbury eggs are my absolute weakness. And then I was like, you don't have kids that you can blame it on. But like,
I just blame your kids.
I know. And then I'll like have extras and be like, you guys want some more? And like, I shouldn't be doing that. Control yourself. Don't give it to your kids.
My boy pulled the Traeger out. He smoked up some picanha steaks. We had some ham.
So good.
Mac and cheese, some greens. Oh, it was so delicious.
We did ham. My sister and I did brunch, and I put a ham on the Traeger too, on my Traeger. And I don't know, and this isn't like an opportunity to give a plug to somewhere, but I found at Costco there is this ham I think it's Boulder that comes out of Boulder, and it's freaking fantastic. It is so good. So
what I love about your weekend with your sisters, like last week you were talking about she was coming, and you're listing 25 things you want to do.
Yeah.
Blah, blah. The one thing you didn't list is the one thing you did is you went to Buffalo Bill's grave.
Like, why? Why would you do that? Why?
And then that day the news came out like it's going to close in 2025. Yeah. So thank God you went when you did.
I mean, honestly. Well, it's funny because they wanted to do something where they wanted to hike, and the weather was beautiful this weekend. But when you have, we had 3 kids with us at that point, and you don't know what the snow situation is like. So we did an easy hike that kids could do, see some views. And I'm like, why don't we go do Lookout? We can hit Golden, which is a really fun city to walk around.
Boo. I feel like the day after you recommended Garden Grace to Ed Sheeran, I recommended so many trails to Tracy. I recommended Deer Creek Canyon. I recommended Mount Falcon. Didn't go to any of them.
Didn't go to any. No, we wanted to do Golden, just kind of head into the city after and have lunch. And, there was this I remember this, last time I was in Golden was maybe like 3 years ago. And there was a really cool antique store. And my niece really likes that. And she really likes thrifting. And I was talking to her up on it because she hates hiking, the oldest one. This poor girl goes on a hike, looks at Buffalo Bill's grave like she's supposed to care. And then I go and I bring her to Golden. The antique store closed. Oh. It's been closed for years. And I'm like, oh, sorry.
Did you bring us back any souvenirs?
I didn't. No, I didn't. She did
Happy
say
Easter
this.
to you, too.
Okay, Golden, you're on the lookout for a white Jeep, because I was in a store and I was like, I'll meet you guys across whatever. And my sister and niece are crossing the main street of Golden.
Okay.
And they came back, wherever they were, and they're like, oh my God, some lady was so rude. And she honked at Greta, my niece, because she was going too slow on the crosswalk, apparently. And I was like, what? And she goes, yeah, it was like really rude. Like, and then
get a license plate.
And then Greta goes, Mom, you shouldn't tell this to Tracy. And she goes, oh yeah. And she goes, Greta goes, the first thing I was thinking is, I'm so glad Auntie's not here, because I would have turned around and somebody, I would have been like, you decide if we're on the news or not today, because you honk at my niece crossing her crosswalk. And I'm popping off hard.
And it's always you Jeep people. You guys are so impatient.
That is not a very Jeep thing to do.
You guys think you run the road. You're road runners.
We are nice to each other. We put little ducks on each other's windows. You don't honk at a child in a Jeep. So white Jeep out of Golden forever. I'm like a crow. I will remember. I will remember you.
I wish you would have got a license plate.
I know. Okay, so we were just talking about, like, with coworkers, what everybody did over the weekend. And we were bringing up, like, church, and if you've ever volunteered at church. And Matthew, who produces this show, led worship for a while. And I was saying how my dad has been in charge of the ushers at his church. It had been the church that I was confirmed at, and the one I got married at. My dad still on Sunday mornings goes and makes sure the ushers are kind of doing their thing. And I was saying when my boys were little, for a brief time at our church, I was in charge of the coffee and the cookies.
I'm going to guess that didn't last that long.
Well, at that time, too, my kids were really little, so they were in Sunday school. So we would go to church, and then they would go to Sunday school. And then while they were doing that, I had an hour. So I was like, I'll help with coffee and cookies. I was not very welcome. And let me tell you why. It's not that I'm not a nice lady. I'm a very nice lady. It is the clickiest group of older church women that when I came in, it was like, what does she know about cookies? And it was just like, what? Like, and I'd be like, oh, do you guys want me to like tray these up? And I can like put them in. And she's like, that's not where the trays are. And it was like, oh my God. Like they were really protective of their space.
Did you have to bring them or were they already there?
They were already there, but we would reach out to different parishioners and be like, hey, if you want to volunteer to bring cookies. And then by the end, they loved me. But it was really funny as like a new person coming in. There was 3 women and they were in like their 70s and they were not ready to have any new ideas or any new way to do something. And I'm telling you, it was the best for a person who did a morning show. It was the best way to hear great stories for a morning show to tell. They were darling. I mean, they were so funny, but they
they always have the best stories.
Oh, they were not okay with me right away.
There is no
so
better gossiper than a group of people at church ready to gossip.
No better. And at one point, I remember the pastor came in and was trying to like make the coffee, and they were all over him, like trying to be favorite of like, I'll get that. I'm like, oh, you're brown nosing.
That doesn't mean you're like held in higher regard to the Lord.
Isn't that cute?
Just because the priest likes you the best.
Oh my God.
It's not how it works.
I loved it so much. Well, it
was an exciting morning. We announced a concert this morning.
Yes.
Sam Hunt. And then like all week long, every single hour from 8 a.m. until 5 p.m., we got tickets to Kane Brown.
Yeah, that's going to be such a huge show. You know, I kept forgetting until you reminded me last week that's at Coors Field and that Bailey Zimmerman's coming.
Bailey Zimmerman, Low Cash, Ray Lynn.
Huge.
I've never seen a concert at Coors Field.
Really?
I've seen baseball games many times, but
you're native, man.
I know. I don't recall there ever being one. You guys have said it's happened before.
Yeah.
I've never seen a concert there, so I'm like, are you on the grass? Are
you
down on the field?
They lay some stuff down. I saw Zach Brown Band there, and it was super fun. They've played there, I think, twice.
Do you have to pay extra to sit on a base?
Yeah, right. I know. We just slide into people.
You get to throw a ball a little bit.
Lumineers I saw there too. It was phenomenal. It was so much fun. So much fun.
Like, is the stage in the outfield?
You know what's weird is I think it would be like along along left field.
Okay.
Yeah, it'd be back in there. And it was cool. There's not a lot of shows there, obviously, and
I saw Kane Brown at Fiddler's Green last year. I mean, it was such a really good show. Like, I think he's getting to the point where you get to a point in your career where like every single song, like when you're a new artist, obviously you do a lot of covers. You have your hit. When you get to this point, it's just hit after hit after hit, and you're like, oh damn, man, he's got some songs.
I think even for me going to a Kane Brown show, it's the best show to see I forgot he did this one because he has so many hits and they all are like, he hasn't had a flop of a song released, you know, he hasn't had one that like just didn't work. So it is kind of fun to go. And
when you look at country, I mean, I think that'll still be, you look at country music for this summer in Colorado. I mean, it's a who's who.
Yeah.
It's such big shows. It's everything from, like Ogden Mission Ballroom, like Nico's about to be at Mission Ballroom, to Red Rocks to Empower Field. And like, it's really bookended by 2 big KYGO shows. So we kick it off June 9th, KYGO's birthday bash with Jordan Davis. And then the very last weekend of summer, it's Tracy and Fizz's Hoobajoo with Dan and Shay.
God, that's so fun.
Get your tickets at kygo.com before the other shows.
So fun. You know who I'm waiting to rebook is Lady A.
Okay.
Lady A. They had to get when Charles got help with rehab and addiction. He was very open about it. That show is so much fun. And the reason I thought about Lady A is because I feel, and I mean this with all respect, I feel like Kane Brown might be like the sleeper show, I call it, of the summer. The one you sort of go like, oh yeah, that'd be fun. And then you may not necessarily like think to buy tickets to that one right away if it's not your favorite. Lady A is the same way, where it's like, whether you've seen them or not, you might not think like, oh, I have to get tickets. You should. They're so much fun, and Kane is the same way. Yeah. So I think that show on the calendar with these big names coming, Zach Bryan.
And Zach the Zach Brown Band, they're coming.
Kenny Chesney, these big giant headliner stadium shows. Kane is like holding it down. Like, that's going to be a big one.
He's like, okay, you guys have those stadiums. I'm going to go over here to the field.
At Coors Field.
I got Coors Field down.
Right.
He loves the Colorado Rockies, so I think our All-Star game was the one he performed at right here in Colorado.
Yes,
so.
You're right. Like, he's fantastic. And the fact that we have a way, like, these tickets are going so fast for him, and it's such a huge show. We've got them every single hour all week. So even if you didn't think that you wanted to see him before, know that you do. It will be huge, and we've got those to win.
Dude, Bailey Zimmerman headlines his own shows.
I know.
And he's the opening act.
I know.
So, I mean, this is going to be a big, fun night. So get those tickets and listen all week to win. Wake the fun up with you guys tomorrow. Fizz is back tomorrow.
Fizz is back. He's going to be all how we were today. Yeah. He's got one extra day where we're just like, oh, my God. It was a big weekend.
So many eats.
So many naps today.
I've got some steps to do, so.
I do too. I know.
Get this going. Bye, Matt.
All
Bye.
Right. Bye, guys.